After Japan tracked Russian missile boats near Hokkaido, Moscow answers with a major missile strike drill near the disputed Kurils? Is Russia's Pacific Fleet flexing naval power right on Japan's doorstep, escalating pressure after Putin's controversial Kuril Islands visit? Did the Varyag, Omsk and Bastion missile systems strike together, turning the southern Kurils into a high-stakes missile test range? Is Japan facing a new Russian power play after Putin visited the disputed islands, triggering Tokyo's strongest diplomatic objections in years? As Tokyo rages over Putin's Kuril move, Russia has now unleashed a new show of force, staging a major multi-platform missile exercise near the disputed islands. On August 20th, Russia staged major training missile strikes off the southern Kuril Islands, using naval, submarine and coastal forces in a coordinated operation. The Pacific Fleet targeted simulated enemy warships during the large-scale exercise, rehearsing long-range strikes against a group target position far out at sea. Surface ships, a nuclear submarine and a coastal missile unit joined the exercise, demonstrating Moscow's ability to combine sea-based and land-based firepower. The simulated enemy ships were positioned more than 300 kilometers from the firing positions, requiring the task force to coordinate long-range targeting and missile launches. The Varyag missile cruiser launched 2 Vulcan anti-ship missiles, leading the Pacific Fleet's simulated strike against the distant naval target group. The nuclear-powered submarine Omsk launched Granite cruise missiles, adding underwater strike capability to Russia's combined missile exercise near the Kuril Islands. A Bastion coastal missile system launched an Oniks anti-ship missile, firing from one of the Kuril Islands toward the simulated enemy formation at sea. The simulated enemy ships were positioned more than 300 kilometers away, testing Russia's ability to strike hostile naval forces at long distances. Pacific Fleet Aviation supplied target designation data, helping warships, submarine crews and coastal missile personnel locate the simulated targets before firing. Moscow said every simulated target was successfully hit, presenting the exercise as a demonstration of coordinated Pacific Fleet combat readiness. Russia closed the firing zone to civilian ships and aircraft before the missiles were launched, restricting access to the operational area for safety reasons. Moscow described the exercises as part of scheduled combat training activities, even as the timing amplified tensions around the strategically disputed island chain. The drills come as Moscow and Tokyo face a fresh row over the disputed Kuril Islands, following Putin's first visit to Europe and Japan's formal protest. On August 14th, Japan reportedly tracked 4 Russian missile boats sailing near Hokkaido, raising fresh security concerns. Reports claim the Russian warships passed through the Soya Strait during a westbound naval transit near Japan. The same 4 vessels had also been spotted moving east through the strait just days earlier, according to reports. The Russian naval movement came only a day after Putin visited Aturup Island on August 13th, escalating tensions further. A second Russian group also appeared with 2 more Tarantul boats and a support vessel, according to DSA. In total, 6 Russian fast attack craft were reportedly spotted in the area across August 9th and August 10th. Each Russian Tarantul 3 can reportedly carry 4 3M-80 Moskit supersonic anti-ship missiles, giving it serious strike potential. The 4 returning Tarantul boats could potentially carry a combined 16 anti-ship missiles, creating a concentrated threat. The concentrated deployment gives Russia's aging missile boats significant strike potential, according to DSA. In response, Japan deployed a P-3C maritime patrol aircraft to track the Russian naval formation closely. Tokyo monitored the vessels without reporting any incursion into Japanese territorial waters during the transit. Japan's maritime forces documented the warship's movement, but no unsafe approach was reportedly recorded. On August 13th, Takaichi protested against Putin's visit to Aturup, an island claimed by Tokyo as its territory. Vladimir Putin's first visit to the Kuril Islands has triggered a fresh protest from Tokyo, reopening one of the most deeply rooted territorial disputes in the Asia-Pacific. On August 13th, Vladimir Putin visited Aturup, an island in the Russian-controlled Kuril chain that Japan claims as part of its northern territories. The trip marked Putin's first in-person visit to the disputed Pacific island chain, sending a clear signal that Moscow has no intention of softening its control. Putin toured a fish processing plant, a hospital and a school on Aturup, using a civilian visit to underline Russia's administration and long-term presence on the island. The Russian president also met Sakhalin Governor Valery Limarenko, linking the disputed island to Moscow's wider governance and development plans for the Far East. Japan immediately protested Putin's visit to Iturup, which Tokyo calls Etarofu, saying the trip directly contradicts Japan's long-standing sovereignty position. Tokyo claims Iturup and 3 other southern Kuril Islands as its northern territories, arguing that they were unlawfully taken by the Soviet Union at the end of World War II. Japan's foreign minister said the islands remain Japanese territory under international law, insisting Tokyo has never accepted Russia's control of the disputed chain. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi also condemned Putin's trip, saying it hurt Japanese public sentiment and could make any long-term repair in bilateral ties far more difficult.
As the government of Japan, we have repeatedly made similar requests to the Russian side that President Putin refrain from visiting the Northern Territories. Nevertheless, we strongly protest President Putin's visit to Etarofu Island today. The Northern Territories are an inherent part of Japan's territory, both historically and under international law. This latest visit to Etarofu Island by the incumbent president of Russia runs contrary to Japan's consistent position regarding the Northern Territories. Furthermore, it hurts the feelings of the Japanese people and is absolutely unacceptable. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Japan-Russia relationship has been in a difficult state. Even under such circumstances, Japan has made every possible effort to improve the relationship. However, this visit will only deepen negative sentiment towards Russia and Japan and make it harder to rebuild relations for the long term. For Japan, issues involving the Northern Territories, particularly matters concerning former island residents visiting family graves, are humanitarian issues. Thus, we have kept channels for dialogue open and have continued to address these matters through talks. But the current situation is extremely regrettable. As for our response going forward, the government will carefully consider appropriate measures.
As Tokyo protested Putin's visit, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev sharply attacked Japan, accusing the U.S. ally of creating trouble by persisting with its territorial claim. Medvedev's remarks added a confrontational political edge to Putin's trip, suggesting Moscow now sees Japan's claim as part of a wider U.S.-backed pressure campaign in the Pacific. The Soviet Union seized the 4 southernmost Kuril Islands from Japan in the final days of World War II, establishing a dispute that still shapes relations between Moscow and Tokyo. This territorial conflict has prevented Russia and Japan from signing a formal peace treaty to officially end their World War II hostilities more than 8 decades later. Decades of negotiations have failed to produce a settlement, as Japan demands the return of all 4 islands while Russia refuses to surrender any territory it controls. Moscow has also expanded its military presence across the Kurils, building airstrips, barracks, coastal missile positions and air defense infrastructure near Japan's northern border. In retaliation, Russia strongly condemned Takaichi's remarks and summoned Japan's ambassador.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.